You get a feel here of the original streets, and we've redone the original sets. Stone set.
I'd like to see Holbeck go back to this.
We're all
Lovely.
like this.
There's more heritage, more industrial heritage in this area of Leeds than probably most areas in the country. It's phenomenal.
We've got lovely cobbles. I dropped the curb. Now then, let's try and get down this. So we're onto a main road. I'm coming back into the main... Oh God! I'm coming back into the main road with my back to the traffic, which is fantastically safe. So thank you for that. Now this curb's better, actually.
What we've tried to achieve with our thinking through the planning and urban design processes is how to be willing to accept fragments of industrial buildings and skins of new structure behind, new staircases that have a fairly industrial feel but are obviously of recent design, and marking entrances with bay trees off the space. Small details that make you feel, I hope, this is a real working place rather than a hidden corner, as it were.
It looks all closed off from this side. There's no gate immediately, so I don't know kind of how you enter the urban village as such. I'm going to take a bit of a walk down the other end of the road and see if there's an accessible point on that side.
And then, as in a lot of townscape, there's a glimpse there that is enticing. So, you know, I'm inclined to follow that and see where it leads us.
In the summer, this is
Heaving with people.
Yeah, it is, because they have obviously the alfresco tables out here, and it catches the sun.
It's on my doorstep, and we've never.
You see, you've never come now. The restaurants and the cafes here are very inclusive, aren't they? They're not. You know, you can have a coffee here very inexpensively.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lovely atmosphere.
Here you've got a lovely sign that sort of says car park, Foundry Street, but it's actually when you're in. What would be useful for me actually is stuff kind of on the edges that says actually that area has parking that is accessible for people with impairments, with health conditions. Just to kind of explain where it is so that you don't have to trek around the whole thing, get exhausted, and then, you know, be in a really naff mood and not want to go into the pickled pepper and eat something.
Looking through the opening there, I see the cars and flats and apartments of the people who have made their homes here. There are apartments above the pickled pepper. There's an art gallery behind me here, which is opened here, and a number of professional offices. It's that mix of qualities, visual and use, that I think the village has succeeded so far in creating. The question is, how does this link from here to the existing communities in Holbeck itself?
I'm not really getting a feeling of you know, the local people from Holbeck being here and using the place. We have quite a large South Asian community, and I'm not sort of seeing anything that would automatically say, well, there is a sense of South Asian community that is represented here. Maybe there is something, but I can't see it. And actually, this is the extent of Holbeck Urban Village. Where is the attraction for those individuals?
It still isn't a proper community, is it? It's all young. You know, you haven't got your old people's bungalows around here.
Thank you, Fran, I appreciate that.
No, but you haven't. No, you haven't. And you haven't got a children's play area. It would be nice so children could come as well.
But of course, that's the whole aspect of the grander village. This is one tiny part, but that's going to have to come somehow. It's got to happen.
You're going to have to mix this, because there's a community up there with children and elderly people and people with disabilities and stuff like this, which is fine, is this, but this is just for a cafe culture.
It's time consuming and difficult and slightly kind of uncomfortable just getting from one end of the cobbles to the other. And then if I've got items with me, and again I'm on my own, I'm constantly dropping things, so I'm fighting to pick things up and then get 10 steps forward. It's just frustrating. It's time consuming and it takes 10 times longer than it needs to. But then actually, to add to that, I've got this lovely smooth kind of side, which is lovely, but actually it's on a tilt. And then you've got the lighting, you've got these little bollard things in the way. It just adds that extra challenge.
From the smaller scale world of the village, from Matthew Murray world in a sense, we come to John Marshall's climactic building in the whole sequence along the street, which is a direct copy of the Temple of Edfu in Egypt. Why he chose to do that, we don't know. It was definitely fashionable after the Napoleonic Wars to refer to Egypt in various ways. But he certainly did it very accurately through an architect we think called Bonomi. It is a fact that sheep did graze on the roof. The aim was to contain moisture on the roof so that flax spinning would be more effective and that it wouldn't dry out. Thoughts are evolving on how to make use of this fabulous Grade 1 listed building.
It's all like false, and it's like a Disneyland, isn't it?
Yes,
superimposed on.
If this was put down in the middle of New York or somewhere where you've got everything around it at the moment, it's something on its own. There's nothing around it. It's derelict.
It is like a little oasis because the rest of the development hasn't occurred. But once that occurs, this will just appear like
part of a village.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it's home.